wound healing, which was initially classified in three stages, which were inflammatory. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel once again. The topic of today's discussion would be wound healing and its parameters. As we all are aware, it's one of the very important aspects, especially in surgical field, where every patient who undergoes some sort of surgery has an incision. That incision undergoes the phenomenon of healing, which is termed as wound healing, and there are phases to it. So let's begin. Wound healing, which was initially classified in three stages, which were inflammatory, proliferative and remodeling phase, but now the recent classification has put wound healing into four different stages, which extend from the first one being coagulative, the second one being inflammatory, the third one being proliferative, also known as fibroblastic phase, and the fourth one is known as remodeling or maturation phase. So let's begin. The very first phase, coagulative phase, starts from the time of injury or from the time of creation of wound, as we create a surgical scar by giving a surgical incision. So the timing of coagulative phase is immediate. There are three aspects we will be discussing in every phase. So for coagulative, the initial aspect is vasoconstriction, which occurs as platelets secrete ADP, serotonin and thromboxane A2 that leads to the development of vasoconstriction. Then we go further ahead. In the same phase of coagulation, there is platelet adhesion and activation, which occurs as damaged endothelial cells starts releasing von Willebrand factor. Platelets adhere and become activated. The third step in this phase is fibrin clot, which occurs through the clotting cascade. So this was the coagulative phase of wound healing. The second phase is inflammatory phase, which begins from the immediate time of wound to 3 days. It also has three steps or three aspects, which include vasodilation, exudation. Exudation occurs of polymorphonuclear lymphocytes and mononuclear lymphocytes. There is the secretion of cytokines, for example, vascular endothelial growth factor, platelet derived growth factor, and so on. Then the third aspect of this phase is phagocytosis, which principally occurs through macrophages. The third phase of wound healing is proliferative or fibroblastic. It begins on the third day of wound creation and extends up to 3 weeks. The three aspects of this phase are granulation. Granulation occurs when fibroblasts secrete glycosaminoglycans, collagen and elastin fibers, and there is the formation of new capillaries. The second aspect of this phase is contraction, where wound edges pull together. The third aspect of this phase is epithelialization by migration of epithelial cells. The fourth phase of wound healing is remodeling or maturation, and it's the final phase. It extends from 3 weeks to 2 years. The three aspects of it are reorganization, regression and scar tissue formation. Reorganization, basically the haphazardly laid collagen, which was laid in third step of wound healing, the proliferative step. That laid collagen is now restructured and reorganized to give tensile strength to the scar tissue. Then there is regression. Initially laid capillaries which were formed in the third phase, which is known as fibroblastic or proliferative phase, those capillaries involute in fourth phase. Then there is formation of scar tissue. This scar tissue which is formed attains 80% of original tissue strength and never attains 100% tissue strength, which was present earlier from the wound development. So this was all about the phases of wound healing. I hope you remember. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you for watching.